So this lens goes to f2.8. I'm just going to change that and go all the way to 2.8. And let me just take a test and see what this gives me. It's a very, very bright, overexposed image. Because I'm going to do this with one light. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joseph. I'm in the studio with Napari. You guys loved her so much. I'm bringing her back for this. What we're doing today is I saw an image, a very interesting image online, and I just decided to try my hands on, but with just a little bit of a twist. Okay, so what we have going on in the back is this fabric that I have draped, and created some textures in there. So what we're going to do is shoot this image entirely with one light. I want this one light to be able to light up Aisha, to be able to light up our foreground element and also light up our background. So I'm going to have this light really, really close to Aisha, and by draping it and using a slightly harder light, we're going to create some, dark tones and highlight tones, creating textures in the background and adding interest. And then that same light is going to light up Aisha, and also create a little bit of a dramatic effect. Again, we're using just one light. I don't want it to be flat. I want it to have interest. And the way you can create interest with your one light is to play with lights and shadows. And afterwards, I feel I'll just add a reflector on the side. And what that's going to do is, because I'm using an umbrella, it's going to spread the light everywhere. So we're going to get light on Aisha, we're going to get light on the backdrop, and then we're going to have some spill, going off. And I don't want that to go waste. So what I'll do is I'll introduce a reflector, put it on that side, and hopefully bounce some of that light back to light up Aisha. I'll put in a fill card just underneath so we can bounce some light back up to light Aisha, and also create a little bit of light on there for us. So again, we're just utilizing that one light to the max. So this is something that you can do. If you don't have a lot of lights, you can still use one light to create really interesting and dope looking images. And thank you for this inspiration. If you know the person who shot it, link him down below. I always love to shoot tethered nowadays. For a very long time, I always want to shoot tethered to a bigger screen, essentially. It's good for client work because then the clients will have to be like right behind you looking at the back of your camera to see what you're capturing. You can assign like a laptop or another device to them to see what you're capturing, and if they have changes, they can make it on set. But for me personally, even if I'm doing personal projects, I like to shoot tethered because it gives me a much bigger frame to see and take critical decisions, or if I have an assistant on set, they can be assigned to it to see things that I might be missing. So it's really good to shoot tethered. You have a bigger area to look at, and so you have more appreciation for the work that you're creating. So that's why I love to shoot tethered. I'm shooting with a Canon R5 and I'm using the Sigma 24-70R lens. I may vary the focal length, I'm not too sure. Maybe when I'm shooting, I'll decide on that. And I'm triggering the lights with my Godox trigger. So let's start and see what we are getting. Okay, so first things first, I need to adjust my settings, for the studio and make sure that I at least love where I'm starting from. And when I introduce my light, I'll be able to make adjustments from there. So the first thing is, I feel like my shutter speed is at 1/125. That is okay, I can keep that. But I want to, add a bit of blur to my background. Remember I mentioned it was very, very close to her. So this lens goes to f2.8. I'm just gonna change that and go all the way to 2.8. And let me just take a test and see what this gives me. It's a very, very bright, overexposed image. My ISO is currently at 51,200, and I don't know who adjusted the ISO and put it there, but I'm gonna start with ISO 100 and take a shot. Now by doing this, I can see that I don't have any light hitting my background. I don't have any lights really affecting the shot. Now I need to introduce my strobe and then see what that does. All right. before I move on, so this is what studio photography is all about. With studio photography, you are the one in full control of your lights because you're using artificial light sources, unless you have like large windows in your studio, you're shooting during the day and you have like all this natural lights, you know, being washed into your studio, and you're using that to shoot your subjects. But in this case, we're trying to kill off the ambient lights. We have an LED in here. We have the house lights also on, and those were influencing the shot because there was no light going off, but you saw how overexposed the image was when we shot at 51,200. But when I brought it down to 100, you can see that nothing is really influencing the shot. So now this Flashpoint Explore 400 is going to be the only light that is supposed to light up Aisha and do all of the, you know, gimmicks that I mentioned earlier. So I'm going to turn this on, and it's in group B. It's currently at 1/128.7. I also don't know if this position is what I like, but again, we're doing this together. We're building it together to see what we can do together. So, all right, my trigger is on as well. Take another. That is a beautiful image. I really love this test shot that we captured, but I feel like the light is, you know, still a little bit too flat. And what I want to do is just bring the light in a little bit more towards Aisha. So that's the thing, again, with studio photography, because you are in full control of your light, you really need to be precise and, you know, just play with it, you know, make tiny adjustments, take test shots and see what is happening, if you like it or not. Okay, so you can see even though I moved it, I'm still adjusting it a little bit. And I'm gonna take another shot. Okay, I love the direction. I love that we have shadow on one side and we have this amazing light on Aisha. I really, really love it. Now we can bring in the small fill card. So what this is supposed to do is, you know, catch any light from this umbrella that is going waste, you know, and then just bounce it up. So we'll have some light hitting this area and also have some hitting Aisha. So I'll take a shot. It won't be very, very pronounced, but I know that it's catching some light and it's filling in some shadows. So let's just see what that does. Yeah, that's really cool. All right, so looking at this, I feel like, yes, as I mentioned, it's not very, very prominent, but if I zoom into her eyes, you will be able to see that it is reflecting in her eyes. There is a catch light, so it means that it really is doing something in the image. So I'll just keep it there. And now I'll bring in my large reflector. I'll just bring it in as close as possible. Yeah, so again, what it's supposed to do, catch some of the spill light and open up the shadows. I love the shadows. Let me see what this does. And then if I need to, you know, make any final adjustments, I will do that. Okay, Aisha, I feel like we're almost there. So let me take one more shot. It really opens the shadows. I almost feel like I want to do away with the amount of reflection that I'm getting. So what I'll do is just bring the reflector back a little bit. It's been a long journey, but I feel like now we're there in terms of the lighting. We've been able to, you know, tweak it, adjust it, add in our fill cards and reflectors, and we'll be able to get the light shaped the way we want. So now it's time for me to work with Aisha and capture that one amazing shot that we're looking for. Ready? So just to add variety again, you know, in the beginning I mentioned that I loved the images without the reflector. So I'm just shooting some that are going to have a bit more contrast, you know, than usual. So. that's it for today's video. I hope you had fun watching us do what we do all the time, and I hope you learned something, at least a thing or two. If you did, let me know in the comments down below. If you want to see Aisha again, let me know in the comments down below as well. And whilst you're there, there's a link that will take you to my digital store. There are so many amazing products. If you get my workflow actions, I also have some presets in there. If you get any of those, you're supporting me and helping me create more free videos like this. So just go on my website. I'll catch you guys in the next video. And remember, don't ever give up.